So my first blog post was called The Fundamental Principles. I posted this on March 25th of 2015. And it goes like this. So as a CrossFit coach and personal trainer, I get to spend a lot of time with people. I guess when people think of these occupations, they think of you as someone who stands there yelling motivational abuse at a bunch of members. They wouldn't be entirely to blame either, as this is how society has moulded our thinking towards exercise and how it should be. Just do it, no pain, no gain, calories this, sacrifice that. This could very quickly lead down the rabbit hole to a very different conversation, so I'll leave it there for now. My job as a trainer, however, is not so much to stand and abuse, but to observe and act upon feedback, predominantly within the realm of movement, but also across a broader range of lifestyle metrics. The purpose for this blog is to formalise the recurring themes I see day after day in an effort to create consciousness around them. Before we can talk about observations from the world we live in, we need to establish some fundamental principles. A set of processes that every piece of information gets filtered through before a reaction can take place. These are my principles. Number one is open-mindedness. This comes in at number one simply because if you're not willing to put your ego aside and take a non-judgmental approach towards something new, then everything else that follows is irrelevant. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. Number two, common sense and critical thinking. Like the saying goes, common sense isn't all that common. Unfortunately, we now live in a world where we probably gain most of our basic life knowledge from TV commercials. Critical thinking means you question everything. The average human being should be able to read the label on the back of the latest candy-flavoured, multicolored breakfast cereal and realise that they probably shouldn't eat it without needing a degree in human nutrition. Number three, system of systems. Everything is a system of systems. What you eat eats. How you move, how you sleep, how you wake, how you breathe. More often than not, when you isolate something for a lengthened period of time, you create dysfunction. When putting something through this filter, you have to consider how it will affect factors other than itself directly. And then lastly, context. So last but not least, context. Just like everything that comes after open-mindedness is irrelevant if you don't have both eyes open, everything that came before principle number 4 is irrelevant if it's out of context. There are so many claims and statements being thrown around on exercise and nutrition alone. Pay attention to what's being said and evaluate whether it belongs in the same conversation as the thing you're comparing it to. And then I just finish by saying that these are by no means laws, but are just my way of systematically approaching obstacles and making informed decisions about how you best deal with them. So obviously that's within the context of the fitness industry, working in gyms and thinking about health and wellness and fitness, but that's pretty transferable to day-to-day life, especially with where we get most of our information from today on the media and all that. So yeah, if you're open-minded, if you apply some common sense, think critically, if you realise that everything is a system of systems, how one thing behaves affects and is affected by everything else, and then context. I think context is the big thing, especially with all the information on social media and whatnot. There's a lot of content, and the same within the news. There's a lot of content, but there's not a lot of context, which is the big thing. So feel free to go back and have a look through this blog post, and hopefully that may filter into your day-to-day life.